Alright, so I was driving the truck the other day, and what was kind of weird is when I pulled into the driveway, the choke light started coming on. And I guess I should explain a little bit how the choke system in this truck works. And the way it works is you've got an oil pressure switch that just detects oil pressure. It's, you know, maybe it's set at like 8 psi or something. I don't know what it's set at, but it's got a set pressure. And when you turn the key on, the choke is not getting power. The choke, the heater coil element on the choke is not getting any power, and the light on the dash lights up. So as soon as you crank it up and that oil pressure senses oil pressure, it closes. You know, it's got its little switch, so it closes and it sends power to the choke. At the same time, it sends the signal up to the light on the dash, and it turns that light out. And so that light kind of doubles as a oil pressure light, and it, you know, tells you when the choke is basically not on. So it's telling you when the engine is choked, because the engine is choked when that coil is not energized. And so when I pulled in the driveway, that choke light came on, so I immediately looked over at the oil pressure, and the oil pressure was fine. And so I took a look, and when I got out, and I smelled oil, and at that point I knew, I'm not going to say I knew, I was fairly certain what the issue was, and I will show that to you all right now. So if we get back in here, and we look, you can see there's oil all on here. There's oil running down the bell housing. If we look over here, now I've already unplugged the switch. That's the switch. And if you look, that I think it's green, blue, and pink or something like that. That plug is right there. It looks like it's 3 wires, but 2 of them are plugged together in the switch. The one that goes to the dash light and the one that goes to the choke element are tied together in the plug. So you got 3 wires coming into the plug, but only 2 terminals on the actual switch itself. You can see right there. And that switch, you can tell, is oily. So if you look over there, that larger one in the background, right in the middle of the screen, that is your oil pressure sending unit for the gauge. And if you can see, you've got a pipe coming up from the block, and it goes into a T, and then in that T you have your oil pressure switch and your oil pressure sending unit. So the oil pressure sending unit is fine, it's not leaking or anything, but our oil pressure switch is leaking. So we're going to need to take that out and replace it, and it's kind of hard to get to, and so we're going to try see what we need to do to get in there to get to it. Now, I took a guess. They list 2 different oil pressure switches for this truck. And so I had to guess which one it took. And it lists a coarse thread switch and a 1/8 inch 27 MPT switch. And so I'm guessing it takes the 1/8 inch switch. And my theory in that is that if you had a truck that did not have the gauge, you know, an oil pressure gauge, it just had an oil pressure light, that truck would have a switch that threaded straight into the block and not have one, you know, it would not have that little short piece of pipe and the T that this one has. And so if that's the case, I think the block probably has the bigger threads. You know, it might be a 1/4 inch or something like that, which will probably be what's listed as the coarse thread switch. Now that's my theory, and I could be wrong, and we will find out. But I took a good look at that switch, the best I could, and for what I could, the one that's on the truck, and from what I could tell, to me it looked like 1/8 inch pipe thread. So that's the switch I ordered. They did not have that one in stock. They had the other one in stock, and so I ordered it. And you know, I guess if it's wrong, at least they have the other one in stock. Then I can go swap it out. So let's get in there and see if we can get that switch out. So here's our new switch. I picked this one up at O'Reilly's. They were the ones that could get it same day. And otherwise I probably would have just ordered it from Amazon. I'll put a link in the description for the Amazon one. I did find it on Amazon. I think it was a Borg Warner, but I don't recall. It may have been AC Delco. So you're going to need to do this. I mean, you might could do it with a pair of pliers, but you really can't get in there to do it. So you really need this is a 1 1/8, or 1 1/16, sorry. It's made for oil pressure sending units, or not oil pressure sending. It's made for basically switches. It could be oil pressure. TH350 transmission has one on the side that takes the same thing. That's why this one is turned down. It's to fit between the case to get that pressure switch out. So I turned this one down on the lathe because it wouldn't fit on the switch because it's so close to the case on the 350. So this fits on there. You can see how it's got a little, it's different than just a normal socket. So we're gonna see if we can get this thing in there. I don't know what it's gonna take to get down in there and get it out. I'm practically gonna be laying across the engine. I'll probably lay a blanket out, make it a little more comfortable, and we'll lay down on here and see if we can get this thing out. If you look right there in the center of the screen, that is the T. Let's see if I can point this out. So you can see it's teeing off to the oil pressure sending unit right there, and it tees that way going to the oil pressure switch. So you're going to want to take a 9/16 wrench and put on the shoulder part of this T right here, just like this, and that's going to support this T, and then the riser pipe, you can see it right there coming out of the block, while you undo the oil pressure switch. You don't want to just start trying to take that switch off without supporting this, because you could break that tube off in the block. So make sure you get a wrench on here and support this while you're trying to undo that switch. Alright, so this is going to have to be good enough. I can't get the camera in here to show y'all and be able to work. So we're gonna just try to set this up. Rotate this around, or maybe y'all can see me working, but you're not gonna be able to see the switch itself. So, or I don't think you'll be able to. You might can. I'm getting my socket in here. I can't see what I'm doing either, so that makes y'all feel better. I'm just having to go by feel So, trying to get the socket on. Alright, got the socket on. I don't know if I'm able to get a wrench on that. We'll see. Let's see if I can show you. See the end of the, see it right over there? That's the end of the thing. So I don't know if I can get a ratchet on that. We shall see. Oh, just dropped an extension, but don't think I'll be needing that extension. There, it went all the way to the bottom. Alright, let's get our ratchet in the right position. And even if I get this thing on here, I don't know if I can swing it. I can't get it on there. So, plan B. Two plan Bs. Alright, let's take it back off and we'll try two different things. I'll explain to y'all what I'm going to do. So, let's go with plan A. Will be to put a boxed-in wrench on this part right here. Plan B will be to, no, let's go with plan A will be to put a 1/4 inch drive adapter in here and try a 1/4 inch socket. That's plan A. Plan B will be to put a boxed-in wrench on here. So I can get a ratchet on here, that'll be easier than trying to do a boxed-in. So let me try doing that. Alright, here we go. Plan A. This is my little bitty 1/4 inch snap-on ratchet. I've got a socket with an extension to put on here for a cheater if I need it, because this thing is really small. It's this thing I had that is the slimmest right here, which is where I need the clearance and the smallest head. So let's see if we can get this thing on there. Yeah. Let's see. And the head on this thing, on the socket head on it, is 1 1/8". Takes 1 1/8" wrench. So if I have to do that, my 1 1/8" wrench is huge. So I'm not sure how well that's going to work. Trying to get that thing in here. But if that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do. You can pull the distributor and get this thing out. But that's a little extreme. So it feels like we got it on there. Like I said, it's kind of hard to get in here. Get a little cheater. Put on our ratchet. Just a deep socket. And we're gonna hold the other side. Wish y'all could see me doing this as well. I'm just laying on the engine. Broke loose. Hey, look at that. Take our little cheater off now. I'm sorry I can't get y'all a better view, but it is just, there's no view here. I can't see. I can't see what I'm doing either, so that makes y'all feel any better. Oh, it dropped, so I think it's out. It is out. So let's get this thing out and take a look at it. Compare it to the other one. Hopefully it's the same threads. And it is. Here's our old one. You can see how oily it was, leaking out the end. Man, that may have been the original. Probably was. And that is the same. So we're going to go put this one in. I'm gonna try to get y'all in here where y'all can see. Looks like y'all actually have a better view on this side. I'm telling you, it's cramped in here. What are y'all looking at? Alright, so there's a little plastic lock for the plug that goes on here. I threw some Teflon tape on here just to, not Teflon tape, but Teflon paste. But that other one looked original and it had Teflon tape on it. So I just put some paste on this one. I guess I could have shown you the view from this side before, because this looks to be a better view. Problem is, when I go to really tighten down on it, I'm going to have to use both hands. I'm actually holding the camera right now. I got it hand tight now. Snap-on ratchet slips every once in a while. Need to go take it and get it repaired or replaced, I guess. Alright, so sorry, I'm trying to hold my I think that's tight. Now the socket's stuck. To back the socket up a little bit. Put our ratchet back on it. Sorry, y'all are upside down. Come on. I don't know why this thing is stuck. Alright, so our plug, I'm actually going to use the camera to see. Our plug's going to plug right in here. So we got that part of the thing. Where's the... I think the other part of the little clip is broke. It's not here. Is this it? No, that's part of that. So the actual, there should be a... I don't think that'll come off, but there should be another part of this plug actually on the plug itself, little holder that would attach to this, but it is missing. It wasn't on there when I pulled this off. I just had to reach down here and unplug it. So it didn't come unplugged before, so I'm guessing it'll be okay now. So we're good. I think I forgot to say I did spray some brake cleaner down in here before I started, just to make sure we didn't end up with brake or with junk down where this plug is, you know, when we took it off, because that is open to oil, an oil passage. So that should be good. We'll have to test it out, and let me get y'all out of here and we'll test it out and make sure it works. Alright, let's turn the key on. Choke light's on. And it went off. So we'll do another test outside. I'll check it with the test light. Alright, I pulled the choke lead off just to check it to make sure we're getting power to the choke with the engine running. And it'll backfeed the lamp when we turn it off. Turn the key on. You can see we're backfeeding the choke lamp. So that's why we got a little bit of power there, but it's the switch is working like it should. Just wanted to make sure. So now we can just plug everything back up. Plug our choke wire back in. Come on. Alright. Choke wire's plugged in. Put all this back up. There we go. Alright, so thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below, hit the like button, and subscribe for more.